One of the other things, Zoe, that I want to talk about, because to me, who I'm always trying to be the biggest star in the room, but speaking of that, that's a joke. But when you know what is crazy about being a stunt person is usually because of all the stuff that I've gotten to do and riding bikes, I always feel like the most physically talented person in the room. But the thing I love about stunt people is every time I walk onto a set, I always feel like the least talented person in the room.
There's something refreshing about that feeling, though, right?
It's totally refreshing, but it's because there's a level of respect to know how talented that group of people are at their craft. It's crazy to me.
Well, you hope so. The most disappointing thing is when you walk on a set and that's not the case.
There's been a few of those.
I really wanted to be impressed and like intimidated, and I'm just a bit like,
Nah. Well, maybe it's good we've never worked together then, because you'll think more highly of me.
I don't mean it like that.
But you got to do something that, some stunt people, it's a dream. You ended up starring in a movie and doing your own stunts with Death Proof. How did that happen?
Like Quentin's side of the story, and I don't presume to talk for him, but he has had the conversation with me, and I have seen interviews with him as well. But that basically during Kill Bill, he did a lot of coaching me, performance as a stunt person, but really just acting is really what was happening.
On movies that are so stunt heavy on the actor or actress, I kind of feel like the stunt person is playing most of the role.
My understanding of Quentin's take is anything that's in front of the lens is telling his story and creating his vision. If I'm in front of the camera and I'm the bride, I am the bride. I am not the bride's stunt double. I am the bride. And that was a game changer for me. So when Quentin first sort of stopped me, I was like, what is your motivation in this? Why are you running up that banister? My first reaction, honest to God, was to laugh and say something stupid like to get paid,
Yeah.
And he didn't laugh. And the conversation carried on, and it was a very serious question. This was how he's going to get his movie made. And by the end of it, I was like, no shit. Now I get it. I'm like, I'm charging that banister because I want to beat the snot out of that woman who stole my life from me. And, all of these things. I was like, cool. It's a whole new game of make-believe for me that I really enjoyed. And I think it was quite a profound experience for him being such an actor's director and opening me up to sort of the art of acting was inspiring to him, to the point where Death Proof came into his head. He told me about Death Proof because I think it was the trailer fight. It was because it was Monica Staggs. Monica Staggs doubled Daryl Hannah in Kill Bill. And so that trailer fight got nominated for an MTV award that year. So Quentin invited Monica and myself, and we went to his place, and we were, drinking Francis Coppola's rosé by his pool in Hollywood. And I was like, what the fuck? How did I get here? This is amazing. And he started telling me about this movie idea called Death Proof, and it's about this guy who kills women with his car, but it's death proof for him, but it's a killing machine. I mean, first of all, I was like, you have to cast at least one actress that is my height, my size.
So you could be in it.
I have to at least double someone in this fucking movie. Like you can't tell me about this movie and then not have me work on it.
Yeah.
So I remember having a scene in my head that I'd imagined it was like all the lead women around a table in a bar somewhere, and then there's two loudmouths at the bar behind, and they get in a raucous fight and they start smashing each other. And I was like, that would be me and Monica.
Yeah, because that's standard, the standard move.
Yeah, and the kind of like, it's a Tarantino throwback, and he's like, paying homage to his own films, and and then I don't know how many months later, I literally get a phone call, and he's like, so I finished the script. I was like, oh, awesome. He's like, I want you to read it. I was like, making me nervous for some reason.
You're like, what for?
I mean, I'd love to read it, but it's kind of making me feel a little weird. He's like, where are you now? I said at home. He's like, I'm on my way. I was like, okay,
what?
Now I'm terrified. Like, what's
he came to your house? He brought it to your house?
To my house, yeah. And he had slept on my couch like 2 or 3 times at that point. We did a bit of drinking together. We're pretty good at those things. He had said to me, I think you're going to really like what Robert has done with the cover of the script. And of course, in my head, I'm thinking Rodriguez has done some piss take just for me to see, And he shows up and he puts the script in front of me, and it just says Death Proof, a juggernaut at 90 miles an hour or whatever, Mickey Rourke, Zoe Bell. And I was like, oh my God, I have to take a photo. My mom's going to love this. Can I keep the cover? Like, I thought that was the joke. That was the entire joke.
Wait, Mickey Rourke was originally going to be the character?
Mickey Rourke was originally going to be Stuntman Mike.
It's crazy because Kurt Russell I don't get starstruck. I don't do any. I don't. But Kurt Russell, every single Kurt Russell movie is like my favorite movie. And I got to work with him on Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Oh,
and I never take pictures with him, nothing. I got to sit and watch him in scenes. I got to see a bunch of stuff. And then we did Comic-Con, and I was in full Ravager makeup. Yeah. So he had no idea who it was, and so I got to sneak a picture in makeup because
hey, buddy.
Yeah, well, he didn't know it was me, and I was like, "Can I get a picture?" And so it's the only photo I have with any sort of celebrity. But
he's amazing,
man,
and he's like all the charm that
he's all his characters. He's like his character from Overboard. Yeah. That's him. He's the best.
He's just a charming motherfucker. I love him to bits. I remember saying to him on Death Proof, I was like, any tips on acting? Because clearly you've done heaps of it, and I have not done any of it. And he was like, you've got it. You just need to relax and let yourself come through, because that's what he cast. Flippin' as. I was like, okay.
And when you started working on it, did you ever get into that groove and feel like, yeah, I'm an actress?
Oh, no, that took me years. That took me years to self-identify as an actor. It took me years, because I think what I recognized I had to do first was separate myself from my identity as a stunt woman. You never see me afraid, you never see me vulnerable, you never see me hurting, you never see me sexual, you never, like, none of those, all of those potentially vulnerable things were like, and acting's the opposite. It's all about being able to access vulnerability and have it be shown in front of people. And that was scary for me. I mean, on Death Proof, I definitely reached the point where I relaxed into being the character that I was.
When you were acting, did you ever feel like awkwardness went away when you were doing a stunt and acting, like being on the front of that car? Yeah. Did that, were you more you felt like you're more in your element?
Yeah, it was kind of it was a conscious decision on, I'm pretty sure Quentin, but I think everyone ended up agreeing that to do, it sounds so heartless, but it's really smart to do all the action sequences at the end and get all the acting stuff done first. I mean, in case I died, then if I died doing the stunt and you've got none of the acting, then it's all a waste. But if we get all the acting stuff,
they can at least Game of Death you, and just put any other blonde in there.
Let's just leave all the dangerous stuff till the end. But ironically, what I did learn about myself at that point was, we all have to find a way in, right? That's always like, once you find your way in, you're like, fuck, okay, there's an access. I can use that. I can get out and I can get back in. Future projects, I would often say, can we, I'm like, I'm fucking new. I don't really know what I'm doing. But if we can do a little bit of the action stuff first, then I can find my character through that, and I can relax into that part that I'm really comfortable in.
I'm totally kind of fanning out right now just listening to the story. So we're gonna be right back right after this.